What surprises me the most when I visit friends or patients over 60? It's not what's on the dinner table, it's what's hiding in the freezer. Behind the frozen peas or tucked under the ice cream, there are foods that look harmless, even comforting, but can quietly speed up aging, drain your energy, and make staying independent harder than it needs to be. Hi, my friends. I'm Evelyn Brooks, and I want to share something that could change how you think about frozen foods forever. For over 30 years, I've worked with older adults, doing their best to eat healthy, but still felt tired, achy, and frustrated with their health. And over again, I noticed the same pattern. What they pulled out of the freezer was either helping them thrive or slowly holding them back. Today, I will reveal 4 frozen foods that can sabotage your health after 60, and just as significantly, 4 frozen superfoods that can help you age with more strength, clarity, and vitality. And trust me, one of the foods on the never touch list is probably sitting in your freezer right now. Let me share a quick story. A 66-year-old retired teacher, Robert, complained of low energy and constant joint stiffness. He thought his diet was fine, lots of easy freezer meals, as he called them. But once we looked closer, we realized those quick fixes were loaded with hidden salt, sugar, and oils that inflamed his body and robbed him of muscle. After a few simple swaps, his energy returned, his knees felt better, and he told me he finally felt 10 years younger. That's why this matters. After 60, our bodies aren't the same as those in our 30s or 40s. What feels convenient can nourish your brain, muscles, and bones, or quietly chip away at them. So, in the next few minutes, I will guide you. We'll look at the worst offenders you should clear out of your freezer, and then I'll show you the delicious, affordable, and science-backed foods you'll want to stock up on instead. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap to turn your freezer into a tool for longevity rather than a trap for decline. Are you ready? Let's open that freezer door together and see what's inside. Before tossing out pizzas or stocking up on salmon, let's pause and discuss the why. Because when you understand why frozen food choices matter so much after 60, the what to do suddenly becomes much easier. Here's the truth. Your body at 60, 65, or 70 is not the same body you had at 30. Your metabolism, digestion, and even taste buds have all changed. And those changes mean the foods you choose today affect you in a much bigger way than they once did. Think of your metabolism like a small engine. In your 20s, it was a roaring sports car, burning fuel quickly without much thought. However, Harvard Health says metabolism declines steadily, about 10% every decade after 50. So by your 60s, that engine is idling lower, burning fewer calories even while you're just sitting in a chair. That means if you eat the same foods you did years ago, the extra calories can quickly become weight gain, especially around your middle. But here's the twist. While your calorie needs shrink, your nutrient needs grow. It's like trying to pack more groceries into a smaller cart. You have less room, so every item needs to count. After 60, your stomach produces less acid, which makes it harder to absorb key nutrients like vitamin B12, calcium, and iron. You risk anemia, bone loss, and low energy without enough of those. And it's not just digestion. Your sense of taste and smell naturally fade with age. That means some foods feel bland. So many people chase stronger flavors, often saltier, sweeter, or more processed. Unfortunately, that habit can pile on sugar, sodium, and unhealthy fats when your body is less equipped to handle them. Let's talk about muscle too. Starting in your 30s, you lose about 3 to 8% of your muscle mass per decade, but the decline speeds up after 60. And muscle isn't just about looking toned, it's tied directly to your independence. Strong muscles protect your bones, support your joints, keep your balance steady, and even help regulate your blood sugar. The National Institutes of Health calls muscle one of the best predictors of healthy aging. Now, here's the good news. Frozen foods, when chosen wisely, can become your secret weapon. Many people assume frozen means unhealthy. Still, flash frozen fruits, vegetables, and fish often lock in nutrients more effectively than fresh foods sitting in your fridge for a week. They cut down on waste, reduce prep time, and make keeping a consistent supply of nutritious meals on hand easier. I think of my Aunt Margaret. She used to feel worn out by the effort of cooking fresh meals every day, but once she learned to rely on frozen vegetables, berries, and wild-caught fish, her meals became quicker, easier, and healthier. Within a few months, her doctor noticed her blood pressure improving and her energy returning. So the foundation is this. After 60, food is no longer fuel. It's medicine. Every bite is either helping you maintain muscle, protect your brain, and support your heart, or it's quietly working against you, and your freezer is the single most powerful tool to make sure those bites work in your favor. Now that you know the why, we can dive into the specific foods, starting with the ones that might slow you down without you even realizing it. Let's open the freezer door and look at one of the biggest culprits, frozen pizza. Now, I know this one stings. Pizza feels like comfort. It's quick, tasty, and familiar. It's been the go-to Friday night meal for many of us after a long week. But here's the reality. After 60, frozen pizza isn't just empty calories. It can be one of the most damaging foods in your kitchen. First, let's talk about sodium, because that's where frozen pizza hits hardest. Most frozen pizzas pack between 700 and 1,200 milligrams of sodium per serving. And here's the truth. Nobody stops at one serving. A small pizza, eaten in one sitting, can easily push you to 2,500 milligrams or more of sodium in a single meal. The Mayo Clinic recommends that older adults stay under 1,500 milligrams daily to protect their hearts and kidneys. After 60, your kidneys become less efficient at clearing out excess salt. That means high sodium meals lead to water retention, swelling in your ankles, and more importantly, increased blood pressure, a significant risk factor for heart attacks and strokes. Second, there's the refined crust. The white flour base might give you that chewy bite you love, but it's essentially sugar in disguise. When you eat it, your blood sugar spikes quickly. And because insulin sensitivity declines with age, those spikes hit harder, last longer, and leave you more tired than ever. Many of my patients tell me they feel an afternoon crash after eating pizza, foggy thinking, heavy eyes, no energy. That isn't just in your head. It's your body struggling to stabilize blood sugar. Over time, this cycle increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. Third, let's not forget the processed meats. Pepperoni, sausage, and ham aren't just salty, they're loaded with nitrates and preservatives. Research from the World Health Organization has linked these additives to a higher risk of colorectal cancer. And here's the kicker. Your body's ability to detoxify these compounds weakens as you age. That means what your body could once flush out more easily now lingers longer and does more harm. Now let's look at what's missing. Frozen pizza is heavy in calories but light in protein. At a stage in life when your muscles desperately need support, one pizza might deliver 800 calories but only 15-20 grams of protein, when you should be aiming for at least 25-30 grams per meal. That shortfall contributes to muscle loss, slower recovery, and reduced independence over time. And one more hidden problem: the oils. Most frozen pizzas use cheap, inflammatory oils high in omega-6 fats. These promote inflammation, worsening arthritis pain and making joints feel stiff. If you've wondered why your knees or hips ache more on weekends, your Friday pizza habit may be part of the story. Let me share a quick story. Michael, a 67-year-old retiree, loved his weekly pizza nights. But he noticed he always felt bloated and achy the next day. When he swapped frozen pizza for a homemade whole grain flatbread topped with veggies and grilled chicken, the difference shocked him. Within weeks, his blood pressure improved, his joint pain eased, and he no longer felt weighed down after meals. That's the lesson. Pizza might look like comfort, but after 60, it's more like a thief stealing your strength, clarity, and vitality. And the good news is that delicious alternatives give you flavor, satisfaction, and nutrients without the hidden cost. Now, let's step into the morning routine and talk about one of the sneakiest traps in the freezer: frozen breakfast pastries. I'm talking about toaster strudels, frosted waffles, Pop Tarts, and even those so called breakfast burritos, loaded with fillers. They promise convenience and comfort, but for anyone over 60, they are one of the fastest ways to sabotage your energy, metabolism, and long-term health. The first problem is sugar. A single serving of these pastries can contain 15 to 25 grams of sugar. That's nearly your entire recommended daily limit before you've even had lunch. The World Health Organization advises keeping added sugar under 25 grams daily, and many of these products hit that in one swoop. After 60, your body's ability to regulate blood sugar is weaker. That means the sugar roller coaster is steeper and more dangerous. Instead of steady energy, you'll spike high, crash low, and feel hungry again within hours. Then there are the refined carbs. The fluffy dough or crisp crust that makes these treats so appealing is pure white flour. It digests quickly, turning straight into glucose. For older adults, that flood of glucose doesn't just leave you sluggish. It pushes your pancreas to pump out more insulin, fueling fat storage around the belly. And belly fat isn't just cosmetic. It's dangerous because it wraps around your organs and increases inflammation. What about fats? Many frozen pastries still rely on cheap oils like palm or partially hydrogenated soybean oil. Even if the label says zero trans fat, that doesn't mean you're safe. These oils inflame blood vessels, raise cholesterol, and have been linked to memory decline. I've had patients who couldn't understand why their arthritis pain was so bad in the mornings until they realized their breakfast pastry habit was fueling inflammation. Here's the sneaky part. Eating sugar-heavy foods in the morning resets your appetite hormones for the entire day. When you spike and crash early, your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, go haywire. The result? You feel hungrier, crave more sweets, and snack endlessly, even when you don't need the calories. Take Linda, a 62-year-old grandmother I worked with. She used to pop a frosted toaster pastry in the toaster each morning. By 10 a.m., she was starving, tired, and reaching for cookies to get through the day. Once she replaced that with plain Greek yogurt topped with frozen blueberries, the difference was night and day. She had steady energy, fewer cravings, and even lost weight around her waist. That's the key lesson. Breakfast should fuel your body, not fight it. Those frozen pastries might look fun and easy, but after 60, they rob you of energy, disrupt your metabolism, and silently push your health in the wrong direction. When you trade them for protein-rich, nutrient-dense options, you set yourself up for clearer thinking, stronger muscles, and steady energy all day long. The next dangerous food hiding in many freezers might look harmless at first glance, but it's one of the most destructive for people over 60, frozen fried favorites. I'm talking about chicken nuggets, fish sticks, onion rings, French fries, and mozzarella sticks, the foods that bring back memories of quick snacks or easy family meals. But once you understand what they do inside your body, you'll see them in a very different light. The biggest problem is the oil. Manufacturers fry these foods in cheap, unstable oils like soybean, canola, or corn to make them crispy. When packaged, those oils have already been heated to extremely high temperatures, sometimes multiple times. Then, when you reheat them in your oven or air fryer, they break down even further, creating compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs are strongly linked to faster aging in the body. They increase inflammation, stiffen joints, damage arteries, and even affect brain health. These compounds can feel like pouring gasoline on a fire for someone over 60, whose natural anti-inflammatory defenses are already weaker. Next, consider the breading. That crunchy coating is usually refined flour mixed with sugar, salt, and preservatives. It spikes your blood sugar but offers nothing in return, not fiber, vitamins, or minerals. For older adults, these spikes lead to brain fog, fatigue, and, over time, increase the risk of diabetes. And let's not forget the calorie density. A small plate of frozen fried snacks can easily reach 600–800 calories without giving you any fullness. That's dangerous, because after 60, losing extra weight becomes more challenging due to slower metabolism and hormonal changes. Many patients tell me they eat a bowl of frozen fries or nuggets and still feel hungry an hour later. That's not a lack of willpower. It's the food failing to nourish you. There's also the issue of sodium. A serving of frozen fried foods can contain close to 1,000 milligrams of salt. Combined with the unhealthy oils, that's a perfect recipe for high blood pressure, swelling, and greater strain on your heart. Take George, a 70-year-old retired bus driver I worked with. He often relied on frozen fries and nuggets when cooking felt too much. Over time, he noticed not only weight gain, but also brain fog and painful stiffness in his knees. His energy improved dramatically when he cut out frozen fried foods and switched to roasted vegetables with olive oil. Within 3 months, he told me he could finally walk his dog again without stopping every block to rest. That's the power of removing these foods. They may look golden and inviting, but they're stealing your clarity, mobility, and independence. Replacing them with roasted or steamed alternatives gives you flavor, satisfaction, and health, all without the hidden cost. Now, let's talk about the sweet side of the freezer. For many people over 60, frozen desserts, ice cream, popsicles, frozen pies, feel like a bit of joy at the end of the day. I hear it often. Evelyn, at my age, I've earned my nightly bowl of ice cream. And I understand. Sweet treats can feel comforting when life feels heavy. But here's the truth. When frozen desserts become a regular habit, they quietly chip away at your health, mood, and memory. The first red flag is sugar. A single serving of premium ice cream can pack 20–30 grams of added sugar, and let's be honest, most of us scoop far more than a single serving. The World Health Organization recommends limiting added sugar to no more than 25 grams a day, meaning one generous bowl can send you well over the limit. After 60, your body processes sugar less efficiently. Blood sugar spikes are more substantial, last longer, and increase your risk of insulin resistance. Over time, this contributes not only to diabetes but also to what researchers call inflammaging, chronic inflammation that accelerates aging throughout your body. Second, there's the issue of fats. Many commercial frozen desserts use cheap saturated fats from palm oil or low-quality dairy. These fats don't behave like the healthy fats in olive oil or salmon. Instead, they stiffen your arteries, raise bad cholesterol, and contribute to cardiovascular problems. Combined with sugar, it's a dangerous mix that burdens your heart and circulatory system. But what is most concerning is what these desserts do to your brain. Studies from the National Institutes of Health show that diets high in sugar are linked to faster cognitive decline and higher rates of dementia. Think about that moment. Every bowl of ice cream might taste like joy tonight, but repeated over months and years, it can steal your sharpness, focus, and memory. Frozen desserts also affect your gut health. Many are filled with artificial stabilizers, colors, and emulsifiers that disrupt the microbiome. the community of healthy bacteria in your digestive tract. A weaker microbiome doesn't just mean bloating or gas. It affects your immune system, mood, and even sleep quality. I'll share the story of Margaret, a 65-year-old widow. She comforted herself with ice cream every evening, telling herself it was a harmless pleasure. But her sleep was restless. She gained weight, and she often felt cloudy-headed during the day. When she swapped her nightly ice cream for a bowl of Greek yogurt topped with frozen berries, the results amazed her. Within weeks, she reported better digestion, fewer night wakings, and a brighter mood. Here's the bottom line. Enjoying a frozen dessert occasionally is fine. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But making it a nightly ritual silently drains your energy, your independence, and your long-term health. Save it for special occasions, and you'll discover healthier frozen options that taste just as satisfying, without the hidden cost. By now, you may be thinking, Evelyn, are you telling me my freezer is the enemy? Not at all. Here's the part I love sharing. Your freezer can become your best friend after 60 if you stock it with the right foods. While some frozen items silently work against you, others are absolute powerhouses that can protect your brain, strengthen your muscles, and give you more energy for the years ahead. Think of your freezer as a toolbox. Right now, you may have tools that do more harm than good, like frozen pizza or sugary desserts. But if you swap them out for the right ones, you'll have everything you need to build strength, preserve memory, and support healthy aging. And the best part? These frozen heroes are just as convenient, affordable, and easy to use as the unhealthy options. I recommend 4 frozen foods every person over 60 should keep on hand. They are simple, versatile, and scientifically proven to make a difference. Frozen wild-caught fish, frozen berries, frozen vegetables, and frozen bone broth. Why these 4? Because they give your body exactly what it needs most after 60. Frozen wild-caught fish is rich in omega-3s and high-quality protein, nutrients that fight inflammation and protect your heart and brain. Frozen berries are antioxidant powerhouses, guarding your cells against damage and helping your memory stay sharp. Frozen vegetables make getting fiber, vitamins, and minerals easy daily, even when you don't feel like cooking. Frozen bone broth provides collagen and minerals that support your joints, skin, and digestion. I've seen countless people transform their health simply by making these swaps. One of my clients, Helen, 72, used to rely on frozen fried snacks and pastries. She always felt tired, and her arthritis made walking painful. Once she started keeping salmon, spinach, berries, and bone broth in her freezer, everything changed. She told me her mornings felt lighter, her digestion calmer, and her pain less severe. Her freezer became her ally, not her enemy. The beauty of these foods is that they require no complicated recipes or hours in the kitchen. They're quick, tasty, and adaptable. With them, you can combine meals that rival restaurant quality while knowing you're nourishing your body at the deepest level. So no, your freezer isn't the problem. It's simply about making more intelligent choices. Clear out the foods that steal your health and replace them with the ones that build it back up. In the following sections, I'll show you how to use these 4 frozen heroes in your daily life so you can feel stronger, sharper, and more alive with every meal. If I could recommend just one frozen food for every person over 60, it would be wild-caught fish. And the best part is that you don't have to buy it fresh at the market daily. Frozen wild-caught salmon, mackerel, sardines, or even cod can be just as nutritious, sometimes more, because they're flash frozen at peak freshness, often within hours of being caught. Why is this so important? Fish is a true powerhouse for 3 areas where aging adults need the most support: the brain, heart, and muscles. Let's start with your brain. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish, nourish your neurons. Harvard researchers have shown that regular intake of omega-3s can reduce the risk of cognitive decline by nearly 30%. I think of it as brain lotion, smoothing the cracks and keeping your memory and focus strong. For your heart, omega-3s help reduce triglycerides, lower blood pressure, and decrease the risk of heart disease. Studies consistently show that people who eat fish twice a week enjoy better cardiovascular health, which is critical since heart disease remains the #1 health concern after 60. Then, there are the mussels. Every serving of fish delivers 20-25 grams of high-quality, complete protein. Fish protein is gentle and easily absorbed, unlike some protein sources that are tough on digestion. That means your body can use it to build and preserve muscle, a key defense against sarcopenia, the age-related loss of strength. And remember, maintaining muscle isn't just about looks. It's about protecting your balance, keeping your independence, and stabilizing blood sugar. Fish is also one of the few natural sources of vitamin D, which becomes harder to get from sunlight as our skin ages. Vitamin D is crucial for bone health, immunity, and mood regulation. Here's a practical tip. Buy individually frozen fillets to cook what you need. There's no thawing required, just season with lemon, garlic, and herbs, and bake straight from frozen. In 15-20 minutes, you'll have a meal that could cost $30 at a restaurant, but costs a fraction at home. I think of Henry, a 68-year-old widower I worked with. He hesitated about cooking but agreed to try frozen salmon twice weekly. His cholesterol levels improved within 2 months, and he felt less stiff in the mornings. He told me, "I finally have the energy to play with my grandkids again." That's the magic of frozen fish. It's not just food, it's medicine for your brain, heart, and muscles, all tucked neatly in your freezer, ready whenever you need it. If frozen fish is the king of protein and healthy fats, then frozen berries are the jewels of the freezer. They may look small, but don't be fooled. These colorful little fruits are packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber that are especially powerful for anyone over 60. And here's the surprise. Frozen berries are often more nutritious than the fresh ones in your fridge. Why? Because berries destined for freezing are picked at peak ripeness. Their antioxidant levels are highest and flash frozen within hours. On the other hand, fresh berries are usually picked early to survive transport. By the time they travel across the country and sit in your refrigerator for a few days, they've already lost a good portion of their nutrients. So, what makes berries such a superfood for aging well? First, it's their antioxidants. These compounds act like tiny shields, protecting your cells from oxidative stress, the process that accelerates aging and increases your risk of chronic diseases. Blueberries, in particular, are sometimes called brain berries. Multiple studies have shown they can improve memory and delay age-related cognitive decline. Just 1 cup of blueberries contains more antioxidants than most people get daily. Second, berries provide a wealth of vitamin C. Strawberries, for example, contain more vitamin C per cup than oranges. Vitamin C isn't just about immunity, it's also crucial for collagen production. After 60, collagen declines rapidly, leading to stiffer joints and thinner skin. Eating berries regularly gives your body the building blocks to keep tissues strong and supple. Then, there's the fiber. As digestion becomes less efficient with age, fiber becomes your best friend. It helps regulate blood sugar, supports healthy cholesterol, and feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. A healthier gut doesn't just mean smoother digestion, it also supports a stronger immune system and even a brighter mood. Let me share a story. My friend Claire, age 65, used to grab pastries for her afternoon snack. She struggled with fatigue and constant cravings. I suggested she try frozen mixed berries with a dollop of plain yogurt instead. Within weeks, she noticed she wasn't crashing in the afternoons anymore. She felt lighter, had fewer cravings, and even mentioned her skin looked healthier. Here's how you can use them. Add frozen berries directly into smoothies for instant thickness. Stir them into oatmeal or yogurt where they create a natural syrup, or enjoy them straight from the freezer as a refreshing snack. They satisfy a sweet tooth without the blood sugar roller coaster of desserts. Stock a mix: blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, and rotate them for variety. Think of it as having a rainbow of natural medicine, ready to go, right in your freezer. If I had to choose one habit that can instantly improve the health of adults over 60, it would be eating more vegetables. Yet, so many people fall short, not because they don't care, but because buying fresh produce often feels overwhelming. It spoils quickly, takes time to prepare, and sometimes sits in the fridge until it's tossed out. That's where frozen vegetables come to the rescue. What makes frozen vegetables so powerful? Like berries, they're picked at peak ripeness and flash frozen immediately, locking in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Research from the University of California found that frozen vegetables often have the same or even higher nutrient levels than fresh produce stored for several days. So when you reach into your freezer for broccoli or spinach, you're not settling. You're giving your body precisely what it needs. Let's talk about the specific benefits. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts contain sulforaphane, which supports your body's natural detoxification systems. These processes slow down with age, but sulforaphane helps your cells clean out toxins more effectively. Leafy greens like spinach and kale are packed with folate, vital for brain health, and nitrates, which can improve blood flow and energy. Then there's the fiber factor. After 60, digestion often slows, and constipation becomes more common. Fiber from vegetables keeps your digestive system moving and feeds your gut bacteria, which play a key role in immunity and inflammation control. A diverse gut microbiome is now one of the strongest healthy aging indicators. And don't forget the color advantage. The more variety you keep in your freezer, carrots, peas, peppers, green beans, the more diverse the antioxidants you get. Each color represents different plant compounds that protect your body in unique ways. Here's a story I'll never forget. Robert and Maria, a couple in their early 70s, confessed that they often skipped vegetables because they didn't have the energy to wash, chop, and cook them daily. When they started keeping frozen mixed vegetables on hand, everything changed. They began adding them to omelets in the morning, soups at lunch, and stir-fries at dinner. Within a few months, Maria's digestion improved, Robert's cholesterol dropped, and both said they felt lighter and clearer. The best part? Frozen vegetables are incredibly versatile. Steam them in minutes, saute with garlic and olive oil, roast with herbs for a crispy side, or even blend them into smoothies for hidden nutrition. So instead of seeing frozen vegetables as a compromise, see them for what they are: a convenient, affordable, and powerful way to fuel your body with the nutrients it craves after 60. With a stocked freezer, you'll never have to skip your vegetables again. Bone broth is the most underrated of all the frozen superfoods. Many think of it as something old-fashioned, something their grandmother simmered on the stove for hours. But today, you can find high-quality bone broth in frozen form, ready to heat and enjoy. And for adults over 60, this simple food can make a difference for your joints, digestion, skin, and overall vitality. Let's start with the collagen connection. Collagen is the protein that gives strength and flexibility to your joints, skin, and connective tissues. But here's the challenge. Your body produces about 1% less collagen every year after age 20. By the time you're in your 60s, you're making far less than your body needs. That's why joints feel stiffer, skin becomes thinner, and recovery takes longer. Bone broth provides collagen and amino acids like glycine and proline that help rebuild and support these structures. I think it is WD-40 for your joints. It helps keep everything moving smoothly. Then there's the gut health benefit. As we age, the lining of the digestive tract can become more fragile, leading to issues like bloating, sensitivities, and poor nutrient absorption. Bone broth contains compounds that help seal and heal the gut lining, allowing your body to absorb more vitamins and minerals from other foods. A stronger gut means better digestion, immunity, and even more stable moods. Bone broth is also rich in minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, in forms that are easy for the body to absorb. These minerals are essential for bone health, especially at a stage when osteoporosis and fractures are real concerns. Unlike supplements, bone broth delivers them in a natural, nourishing way. Another bonus is sleep and relaxation. The amino acid glycine, found in bone broth, has been shown to support more profound, more restorative sleep. Many of my patients who sip a warm cup of bone broth in the evening tell me they wake up feeling more refreshed and less stiff. Let me share a story. Susan, age 69, used to rely on coffee to keep her energy up throughout the day, but it left her jittery and sleepless at night. When she swapped her afternoon coffee for a cup of warmed frozen bone broth, she noticed calmer digestion, better sleep, and even smoother skin within a few months. She told me, "It feels like comfort in a cup." Here's how to use it. Keep frozen portions in your freezer, thaw what you need, and sip it warm like tea, or use it as a base for soups, stews, or even cooking grains like rice. Look for brands that simmer bones for at least 24 hours and that gel when chilled, a sign of high collagen content. Bone broth may not sound glamorous, but it's one of the most nourishing allies you can add to your freezer. It gives your body what time has slowly taken away and helps restore the comfort, flexibility, and energy you deserve. Now that you know which frozen foods to avoid and which to embrace, let's discuss how to make these changes practical. Because the truth is, knowing what's good for you and doing it are two very different things. The good news? Resetting your freezer doesn't have to be overwhelming or expensive. It's about making small, steady swaps that add to significant results. The first step is what I call a gentle freezer audit. Open that door and take a look at what's hiding inside. Identify the foods that fall into the never touch category, like frozen pizzas, pastries, fried snacks, and sugar-packed desserts. You don't have to throw everything away immediately if that feels wasteful. Instead, commit. Once those items are gone, you won't replace them. You can donate unopened items to a local food pantry if you feel motivated. Next, start adding in the heroes. Begin with one or two superfoods we discussed, maybe frozen wild-caught salmon and a bag of mixed berries. Once those become part of your routine, add frozen vegetables and bone broth. You don't need to buy everything at once. Slow and steady wins the race, especially when building habits that last. The third step is to create simple meal templates. For example, one night might be fish plus 2 vegetables. Another might be bone broth soup with spinach and carrots, followed by a cup of berries for dessert. Repeating these basic templates makes you never feel stuck, wondering what to cook. Here's a practical trick: batch cooking. On a day when you have more energy, cook several fillets of frozen fish or make a large pot of bone broth-based soup. Portion them into containers so they're ready for the week. That way, when you feel tired, you still have nourishing meals waiting for you. I think of my patient Robert, who told me he used to stand in front of the freezer feeling paralyzed about what to eat. That stress disappeared once he restocked with healthy frozen options and created his 3 go-to meal templates. He said, "For the first time, I feel like my freezer is working for me instead of against me." And remember, this isn't about perfection. If you slip up or enjoy an occasional treat, That's okay. What matters most is the overall pattern. Every healthy swap is like depositing into your health savings account. Over time, those deposits grow, compounding into more energy, stronger muscles, and better resilience. So, take a deep breath, open that freezer, and start small. One swap today can set you on a path toward feeling younger, stronger, and more confident tomorrow. We've taken a full tour of your freezer, clearing out the traps that steal your health and making room for the foods that can restore it. You now know the 4 frozen foods that quietly work against you: pizza, pastries, fried snacks, and sugary desserts. And just as importantly, you've discovered the 4 frozen heroes: wild-caught fish, berries, vegetables, and bone broth that can help you stay strong, sharp, and vibrant well into your later years. Here's the big takeaway. Aging well isn't about luck or perfect genes. It's about choices. Small, consistent decisions add up, just like interest in a savings account. Every time you reach for a bag of frozen broccoli instead of onion rings or salmon instead of pizza, you're investing your future strength, independence, and joy. Think about what that means in daily life. More energy to play with your grandkids. Stronger legs to walk the stairs without hesitation. A clearer mind to remember names, stories, and the little details that make life meaningful. These aren't small wins. They're the things that make aging not just about surviving, but about thriving. So tonight, when you open your freezer, I invite you to see it differently, not as a place of temptation or quick fixes, but as a treasure chest. Stock it wisely, and it becomes a tool for living with vitality and confidence. If this message inspired you, please hit the like button and subscribe. Together, we're building a community of people who believe growing older can mean growing stronger. And I'd love to hear from you. What frozen swap will you try first? Please share it in the comments, and let's support each other on this journey. Remember, your freezer isn't just about food, it's about your future. Choose well, and that future can be brighter than you ever imagined.